Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. The S&P just closed, and so I kind of wanted to do a quick follow-up. First of all, yesterday on the S&P, we expected it to drop about 0.32%. The median was negative 1%, so we were expecting somewhere in this zone. Looks like we lost 0.53%, so our AI is pretty spot on. Makes me want to start doing selling options or something. It's pretty amazing how often it's been accurate. Well, we're expecting a worse day tomorrow. So just refreshed everything. With this a little bit of a move down, it's likely that we're going to come down to probably about this level. And so our average is negative 0.87 and our median is negative 1%. So we have a pretty solid red day on the S&P that we're expecting. And so very, very interesting to see that. The other thing that I wanted to point out was that there is something pretty unusual going on. The S&P has kind of been a curse because we've followed it so closely, but it's kind of been a blessing in a certain sense. So this is interesting. If I go to the 5-minute chart, Bitcoin trades between 1330, so between 1330 right here and 20. This is the US market trading period. You'll notice that we stayed pretty tame. During this period of time, markets kind of go down and up, but since the S&P is so tied, like it's not very volatile, 1 or 2% is a big move on S&P. And so when Bitcoin opens and gets into lockstep with the S&P, it's really hard for Bitcoin manipulators to move the markets. In fact, I think there are hedge funds that have tied them together, and so that even on the minute chart, move by move, there's a very close similarity. And so these flash bots are buying and selling and keeping prices in line. And I think if there's a giant move outside of the norm, those flash bots buy it back up and they keep the prices pretty close. It's pretty incredible. So in a certain sense, the S&P has actually dampened some of the volatility that Bitcoin normally would see. A lot of the big moves in Bitcoin have happened outside of the US market hours. So the second right here, the second the market closed, then Bitcoin had this sudden move. And it's like the whales that want to make large moves on Bitcoin. They can't do it while the US markets are open. It's very fascinating to see this. So the second the market did closed, suddenly all these whales that wanted to push prices to where they are wanting to get it were able to do that. So after 2 strong green days, it is very, very likely to have a red day. And so what I was surprised about is how we just hovered so flat for most of the day. I've been watching it. We closed in 3 hours and we were about 20,650 or 20,600 almost all day long. And now that the market is closed, we've dropped a bit. But this is okay. Markets have to have their ups and downs. They have to kind of go through the oscillations. And rejecting off the 100 is a perfect spot to take a rest. What we want to see is support off of the 50 when we get it. And we don't want to do it too fast. We want to wait as long as we can before we find support on the 50. So that's kind of what we want to see happen on Bitcoin. The price that we want to find support on eventually is exactly 20,350. This is a little early to be doing that though. So this won't be the best. This could result in a slip tomorrow. So ideally, it'd be really nice to see Bitcoin above 20,400 because that's about the midpoint of yesterday's candle. If we can kind of keep it up here, we can get some smaller candles and then hopefully come back in a few more days to see if we can find support up in a higher level. We don't want to erase our progress too fast, even though we're likely not going to be touching the 18,650 range that we nailed before this entire move started. So we're well on our way, but just very fascinating to see how that has played out. So let's talk about Ethereum a little bit more today. So Ethereum has actually been in a pretty amazing spot because after breaking this descending resistance, this long one here, we closed on it, started a new candle, and ended up closing much better than I expected. I thought maybe we would close at or right near the 100. The fact that we had a giant candle to blow through the 100 gives us actually a pretty decent shot of finding it as support. I would not be surprised if we stay above it at close by end of day. And in fact, we were at 1565 almost most of the day. It was until the close of the markets that we saw this big sell-off. So here's 20 o'clock, and suddenly we had this big move down. And prior to that, we were pretty stable. A couple of moves earlier, but that was actually prior to the market open. This was market open. So the whole market dipped with the S&P. And then we were pretty stable, finding a lot of support. And then finally, when the US markets closed, then we finally have this volatility. So it's very, very interesting that would play out like this. I wouldn't have. So whales are starting to give up as far as moving markets during open market hours in the United States. So put that in your cap. That's a new development for sure. But Ethereum, we've had this long, awesome consolidation down here, and now that we're moving to higher ranges, we have a ton of support to move higher, and getting above the 100 is amazing. And with the 200 coming down quickly now, it won't be long before we see a golden cross in like a month or two, which could really ramp things up for Ethereum. When the merge happened, this was almost 2 months ago, I was expecting things to cool off for a little while because I knew that miners and holders, they still had the Ethereum that they had just finished mining, and it takes a while to pay bills and do the things that they're doing. So some of that has flushed out of the system during this period down here, and now we're starting to move, and the fundamentals of Ethereum are getting very interesting. I love this site, ultrasound.money, and you can see how at the merge, we had a money supply increase because of low gas fees or gas prices, but we kind of peaked out here and some new projects came on, and now some new NFTs and a little bit more excitement coming in, and the burn has reduced the supply back down to nearly the levels that we were at before. So we're only 1,000 Ethereum away from break even on when the merge actually happened. So huge increase in the fundamentals of Ethereum. Certainly better than adding 500,000 Ethereum to the money supply. So to only add 1,000, and pretty soon, like if this is going to be all over the news. When this finally gets to zero or negative, it's going to be all over the news, and people are going to start singing the praises of Ethereum, and with all of us kind of being ahead of that knowledge, it's going to strengthen any current positions that we have open in Ethereum. So especially with the market, moving more our direction and things are warming up, you add a little bit of excitement in the news of this awesome fundamental situation. I think it'll help propel Ethereum really well. So there were a couple of altcoins that I kind of wanted to point out today. One was SHIB. For some reason, SHIB was really, really high earlier today and just ended up with the ugliest reversal ever. We still have to close this candle, but what a crazy move. It was up like, I don't know if it was like 15% or some crazy number this morning, and just total reverse, total about face. I know that the end of day for the U.S. markets, a lot of things turned back down because Bitcoin moved so quickly. So things like that can scare the market. The other one was Doge. So Doge has been getting a lot of excitement from Twitter and the possibility of using Doge in Twitter. And so speculators have been buying Doge up and moving its price. It was up quite a bit earlier today, but I'm betting we close right at the 200. So I bet we're not too far off from where we'll close in an hour, in a couple of hours. So those are some pretty big movers. Seemed like there was one more that was moving pretty fast. Yeah, it's not coming to me right away, but lots of excitement when Bitcoin and Ethereum are stable. That's when we saw a ton of movement on these alts, but their fundamentals or not fundamentals, their technicals are looking better and better now that they've had a couple of days of green, and especially when we start getting new highs compared to the prior couple of months. Even when we have retracements and some red days, we're starting to find footholds at higher price levels, and they'll move up further. So things are looking pretty darn good. Our red zone, the coins that exited the red zone have gotten a lot larger. We have a lot more coins that I've taken long positions in, and so the market's warming up. When you see this section here where we have coins that have exited the red zone, or they're above the 100 or above the 200, and this gets fatter and fatter, you can tell that markets, the altcoins are warming up and things are moving in our favor. So lots of good things that are happening. I knew that we weren't going to just go straight up forever. So a couple of solid days to move prices to a good place. And then if we can get a kind of a sideways consolidation or a little bit more support up here, then we'll be ready for the next leg up. So it'll probably be a couple more weeks, so we'll just have to be patient. But man, having a good solid head start is really, really awesome. It's going to help us out in the long run. So that's pretty much everything for today. We won't have much help from the S&P tomorrow, so it'll probably be red for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the S&P. But it's okay to take a rest after such a sweet couple of days. So we'll just be patient and keep watching for new opportunities that come along. All right, you guys, have an awesome day. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.